So welcome back to part 2 of the video, well, not the video, the series of videos for Introductory to Lords Mobile, essentially. So what I want to explain this time is a few of the other kind of weird things that people don't necessarily think about much at the beginning, which, like, they're not difficult to understand. It's just someone needs to explain it to you, and therefore if you watch the video, then you don't have to go asking your guild for someone to explain it to you and then a few people to be confused on what's happening. Anyway, so what I'd like to explain this time is starting off with the Coliseum. So the Coliseum is where you can earn free gems. That's right, free gems. So it's one of the best ways to earn free gems if you're actually good at it. Otherwise, it's just kind of mediocre, okay, I'm getting some gems. Nonetheless, the way it works is by playing the levels here, where you actually get other heroes and where you work on to get medals for those heroes and items to level up those heroes. So the way the Coliseum works is it's based on certain heroes affecting other heroes. So a lot of the heroes have different sort of abilities to them. They have different special attacks and special buffs that they grant the rest of your team. This isn't my strong suit. I want to have a guest speaker for a full video on this. However, the way it works is you get 5 of the good heroes, supposedly, and you use that as your team and you try to get them to gold. So if you're free to play, getting good heroes, it's not too hard. You can still find a good team where you can rank high up in the Coliseum. You don't have to spend money to do good in Coliseum. So on that note, the big guy here, he is the cheapest pay-to-play hero that you can buy. He's, I guess, like 300 bucks-ish, maybe. And yeah, that's the cheapest. The best free-to-play, which is honestly it's almost better than most pay-to-plays anyway. Like, there's not many tanks that are better than this free-to-play hero right here, Rose Knight. Rose Knight is very difficult to get to when you're starting the game. Once you get her, you're great, you're perfect, you can max her out, and it's awesome. However, getting to Rose Knight is a pain, but that needs to be your end goal, is to get Rose Knight and to max her out, because that will be your tank. Tracker is going to typically be your range, although of course you can mix and match, you can choose other ones, other teams work better. In my personal opinion, this is the team that I like. Rose Knight is your tank, Tracker is your range, Demon Slayer is your assassin, and then if you're not spending money, you're not going to have Lore Weaver, so you're going to be stuck with Prima Donna as your healer, and then that leaves one spot left. I really like pay-to-play heroes, so mine is always going to be one of these 3, but none of those are free-to-play heroes. So for that 4th spot, I would say maybe Child of Light is a decent choice. There's other options as well, that's just one of them. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but when I get that guest speaker, then we'll know more about this. But anyway, so that's the best way to earn free gems, is through the Coliseum. So after that, one of the good, I'll say, buildings in the game is the Labyrinth. Labyrinth is a mystery, okay? There is a jackpot, and it is very rare. I have never won the jackpot, and I've probably invested, like, 3 million holy stars between my 2 accounts, maybe probably more, really. Probably like 5 million. I don't like buying packs for Labyrinth anymore because I don't like betting on a chance and just hoping I get the jackpot. Nonetheless, playing Labyrinth, most of you will be on normal because you don't unlock elite unless you go ahead and spend $100 on a pack. That's how you unlock it. So in normal, it costs 100 holy stars per hit to attack this monster, and you see it has a health bar of 100%. When you get that down to 0, one of 2 things will happen. Either 1, a second one will come out, just like nothing changed, and you have to kill that one. Or 2, the gemming gremlin will appear, and that is where you get your free gems from Labyrinth. He will drop 300 to 600 typically gems, and he'll do that for about 3 to 5 times back to back. So on that note, if you're doing that in elite version, then it drops that amount times 11 for each hit. So it's a good amount of gems in elite, In normal, it's still a few thousand, probably, or a couple thousand, maybe 1,000. I don't know. But nonetheless, this is one of the more slight confusing buildings in the game, and I just wanted to try to explain that a little bit to you. The jackpot is entirely random, just like any other lottery that would be in the real world, and you can't expect to win it, but if you do win it, make sure you screenshot that shit and send it to your guild, because they're all going to be like, oh my god, he won the jackpot. Yeah, you're going to be like the focal point for a day or two. And everyone's going to be asking you for gems and free speeds and stuff, and you just say no, unless you won a lot, like a lot, like 10 million gems. Then, I mean, hey, be a nice guy. But if you only won 1 million, it's probably in your best interest to help yourself and be a little selfish. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to give everyone a 30-day speed or whatever, but that's not realistic. It's better for you to get your account up, and then that's one more T4 player that you have in the mix in your guild to help fight. So, that is the Labyrinth. The next section I want to talk about, the familiar section. I am not a pro at this by any means. This came out last Christmas, I believe. Or it might have been a little sooner than that. It was probably more around November. But this was something new when I had started playing. Like, it had came in about a month or two after I started playing the game. And it really confused me at first. And it really confuses a lot of people, because you're like, what are familiars? What are these buildings? I don't know what to do here. So, there are good videos out here on familiars. I'm not going to lie. However, for the basic rundown of information, familiars are essentially little minions that you can earn medals for, level up, and they'll give you either passive stats, or they'll give you, like, I don't know what to call it, an aggressive stat. It has an actual name for it. An attack skill. I don't know, but nonetheless, it'll give you one of two things. Those passive stats can be really good, because certain familiars will grant good things. Like, it'll be simply a boost in production on something, or if you go looking at other familiars, you can see that there's like Pyrus, who has an attack ability to where he can kill off 7,000 to 15,000 T1 troops of an enemy, whether they're shielded or not, which is kind of okay. If a lot of people are using that at once, that can do a little bit. However, there's a higher level attack familiar that will kill off the highest tier troops in that castle. So, in theory, if you had a full guild of people with this, and you had this one big player who's just a real ass, and you all use this familiar attack skill, you could do some real damage to him, regardless of him being shielded or not. Granted, that's very unlikely, because it's very difficult to get that. However, that's the basic rundown of it. These little blue buildings are the springs. That's what produces your anima, which is needed to go ahead and unlock these packs for the different familiars. So as you can see, this packed 1B has these familiars in it. These are the lower level familiars. I haven't bothered too much on this account to get the higher level packs that contain much better familiars. For example, the one I was talking about earlier, I believe, is the Grim Reaper. That's the one. At its max level, it'll kill 20,000 and 50,000 troops in an enemy's barracks. And those are the highest tier. So if that's a T4 player, you're killing T4 troops. Easy. However, that's extremely difficult to get and unlikely for a free-to-play player. I mean, I don't even have that stuff as a pay-to-play player on my main. Granted, I've neglected it, I'm not going to lie. So those buildings, the spires are how you actually unlock the packs, which you have to wait for, just like anything else. And then right here is your monster hold. This is just where everything is, kind of, and you can look at it and you can upgrade your monsters and their abilities. And that is useful because that's, you know, how you get this stuff. For example, this one, he gives me STA every time I use this ability. And that's a good half a Braveheart at times, which is very useful because, I mean, who doesn't want medals quicker for their heroes so they can be better in Colosseum and pretty much everything in the game, really. And then you have the gym. This is where you train the familiars. Training familiars is kind of It's another slow progress. and you have to use your heroes to do it, sort of thing, but it doesn't actually take away from any of the other abilities you're able to do with your heroes. So the more heroes you have, the quicker you can train familiars. The higher level of heroes you have, the quicker you can train familiars. So you can train more than one depending on how many gyms you have. I like to stick at 2 personally, but that's just me. Everyone has their own style. Alright, the next thing I would like to talk about is going to be these other few buildings here. So there's these buildings, the prison, not the academy, I already talked about that, the forge, the market, and this type of stuff. This is the stuff where you're like, you leveled up and then you forget about it. So the prison is really good because that's where you're going to hold your prisoners, of course. You can hold up to 30 prisoners, and the higher level prisoners, the more stat buffs you get for holding prisoners until you can finally execute them and then get an altar buff, which is this building. And an altar buff is really good because it gives you all these stats, and you can just stack up the time that lasts. So like I haven't been burning in like a month on this account, and I still have 26 days worth of altar boosts left. And then what is this, Embassy Battle Hall? The Battle Hall is the building where it determines how many allied troops you can have. So say you want to do a Dark Nest, or say you want to do a rally on an enemy. This is where you're going to be able to determine how many troops people can send you. If you have a low level Battle Hall, you're not going to be able to do much because people aren't going to be able to send you all of their troops. I have my maxed out Battle Hall, so I can get 2 million troops from other people, and I can have my own 350,000 army if I so please. Typically it would just be 250,000 army though. In which case you can actually do something. I can get Darkness 4, and later you can do Darkness 5 and stuff. But this Battle Hall is essential mainly for T4 and for rallying opponents and forts and wonders. So it's not too pivotal, but it's very necessary for T4. Just like the prison and the altar. Those are the 3 gem buildings that you need for the altar, and that sucks, by the way. Not for the altar, for T4 troops. That does suck. That, like, it really, really sucks. But once you get past those, it's easy peasy for construction, and you're just sticking to research. Let's see. The trading post here, this determines how many resources you can send to people in order to send to the bank, for example. And, it caps out at 3.18, and then you can do some research to make it go even higher. On my main account, I think I send like 6 mil resources or something per caravan, whatever you want to call it. It's not a big deal, it's just kind of there. And you get a lower tax as you level it up, I believe. Alright, the embassy. This is another important one. However, it's not too important. So, the embassy is where people can send troops to you to reinforce you. And they're going to want to reinforce you when you're getting attacked by another player. So, if my highest T4 player is getting rallied by another player and he's offline, and his first wave of troops is cavalry, we're all going to want to send him cavalry. So we're going to fill it up to 1 million. If you're a lower level player, then, and say you only have 160,000 space in your embassy, people can only send you 160k troops, and that's not really going to do much to defend you. They're just going to die off really quick, and your troops are going to die, and then it's going to be a lose-lose. So having this higher is better, and unfortunately you do have to rely on your guild a little bit. However, this is definitely a very useful tool. I know we use it all the time in my T4 guild, my power guild, whatever you want to call it, because people are trying to rally us, so we're sending them troops to try and reinforce them and keep them safe till we finally get them online. So this is the end of the second introductory video. I know it was kind of a little scatterbrained because I didn't plan it out too much, but these are things I realized I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to explain a little bit to you. I am more than happy, I didn't even mean to click on that, but I am more than happy to elaborate further on any of this if you so please. So if you want me to talk about something that I kind of just passed over slightly in this video, then go ahead and leave a comment or message me in game if I actually know you. I don't want 500 messages from a bunch of people I don't know because I just simply can't respond to all of them. You can feel free to try, but if I know you, I'm much more likely to respond. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll be here next time. Make sure you ask for anything specific that you want. And yeah, have a great day, guys.